moment to read the question. Oh, okay. So this is what I understand from the question. I should analyze the text and see how much perfect matching brackets are there, right?
Not how many perfect matching, is how many additional bracket to put in place such that they will be perfectly matched, all of them.
The missing brackets.
The missing, yeah, the number of missing brackets.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Okay. So I think maybe I should use a loop over the string, the text, that counts how much opening bracket there, and another variable to count how many closing brackets in the text.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, but the sequence will do the trick.
Yeah. Well, let me know if whenever you need some help. But I just want to give you some freedom and room to think.
Okay. So
Also, I would encourage you to, when you think, talk about what you're thinking, because in the real interview, yeah, this I don't know.
I'm thinking what data structure should I use.
Okay.
I'm thinking about stack, but I'm not sure how to use it.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, the text, the first example, this one. So I should loop over the text.
Yeah.
And see how many opening brackets. And once I find a closing bracket, I should find the similar number of closing brackets. If not, So I should return the number of the missing brackets, right?
Yeah, you're definitely on the right track. So basically, you are comparing the opening and the closing, right? So do you think that you need a stack in this situation?
No, maybe not.
Very well. Yeah. So essentially, what based on what you said, okay, you are I didn't give you any hint yet because I just want to make sure your thinking process is in the right track. So what you are saying is you have the number for opening and the number for closing, right?
Yeah.
And how
Okay.
would you use those? Yeah.
Okay. So maybe I defined at first a variable for the missing. My initial value will be 0. Okay.
Okay.
Um, okay, I'm thinking. So for a character in text, if I loop over the text, character by character, if my character equal, I don't know, so should I make an if condition to see the opening bracket?
Okay.
So I don't know. Should be a counter to count how many opening brackets while it's coming after each other.
Do you think that's going to be useful for you? Well, the answer is may not be a no, though. I mean, think about how would you use those variables. I think it's going to help you. That's my thinking.
Yeah, I think I should count how many opening brackets I have before finding any closing bracket,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Okay. So when I find a closing bracket, I start counting them. It must be equal to the count. If not, so I have missing brackets. But what I have in mind wouldn't work for the third example.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know what I mean. You can still discuss with me what you. I'm still not very clear what you have in mind.
I mean, if I have a count variable that count if my character is an opening bracket, I will increment this variable.
Okay. So what about if the other way? Like if that's closing, how would you do it? Now
What?
you have the opening. Yeah, now you have the open bracket. Like it increased by 1, right? So it could be a closed bracket, and how would that impact the count variable?
If I get a closing bracket, then I will the count won't be decremented.
There you go. There you go. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a really good progress, I think.
But
Okay, that's very good progress. And now think about so a few things I want you to
After
guide. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah. For the first example, this would work. After finishing the loop,
Yeah.
I will subtract the count on missing. That will give me
Yeah.
sorry, I will. Yeah, the result of the count after the loop will be the missing brackets. But for the third example, this won't work.
And also, what do you want to return at the end? You want to return missing or you want to return the count? I think you probably want to return the count, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
As I have the count will be how many opening I have.
Okay.
This is how many opening without a closing bracket.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect. It's perfect. You make a
Yeah,
good progress.
but for the last example, I have an equal number of closing and opening and closing brackets, but in the wrong sequence.
Exactly.
So something missing in this code.
Let me know if you need some help.
Yeah, actually, I need any clue right now.
Okay. You make a very good progress. But something that you are missing in here is that, so I'm gonna write some comment in here.
Okay.
So it's the relationship between the current character and the number of the count. So think about a few things. So now if the right now is in the open bracket, and also we need to consider what is a count right now. So at this moment, let's say, does it make sense? So for example, you have to consider two conditions. One is the current character, and also what's the count at the moment, at this point in time.
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Yeah,
I should consider what?
I'm gonna give you an example. Okay.
Okay.
I think, yeah. So let's say so I'm just gonna give exactly the third example over here. I think this is where you get stuck, right? And think about it. So right now, let's say the first character is the open bracket. So the count is 0, right? And then, but the count is 1, right? So because you add the open bracket, and then you have the closed bracket,
Yeah.
right? And then the count will be 1, right?
Yeah.
Because it has already one open previously.
Oh, yeah.
Does it make sense to you?
Yeah. I got it.
Yeah, there you go. Go. Yeah, move forward then. So my point being, I'm going to say again.
So I shouldn't decrement.
No, I think that the decrement is correct. But one more thing to consider is, like, let's say if we look at this closed bracket, but you need to consider what is the count at this state. That the count keep track of what happened previously, right?
Yeah, I should see the previous characters. I should check the previous characters.
The previous count, basically. The previous count.
The previous count.
Yes. So you both look at the current character and also the previous count, and then you do condition on, the previous count is positive, is 0, or is negative, and how that factor to the current character.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so for this example, the third one, I incremented the count by 1 when I found an open bracket, and then I found a closing bracket. So I think I should have done nothing. Or even if I decremented, then I find another closing bracket. If I decrement, it will be negative. So maybe then I can use the missing variable.
Okay.
I mean, if the count is negative, this means there is a closing brackets without an opening brackets.
Exactly. There you go. Perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you're on the right track. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm thinking, what should I do next?
You're in the right track.
Okay, so I'm thinking about using the other variable missing. If I have a negative count, this I can increment the missing. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna help you a bit more. So let's say okay, let's walk through this example together. Okay. And so let's say we are looking at the first bracket, right? And in this,
the count is
yeah,
1.
in this, exactly. The count. Let's say the count is 0 because that we are before that, right? This is the state of the. Because
Yeah.
you're looking
Okay.
at this is so before we look, so this state keep track of the state before this bracket, right? So it's the count gonna be 0, and then also the one that you're looking at the car, right? That's what you declare, right? The car is open bracket, right?
Open.
Yeah, and that's because we're looking at this guy over here, and now let's move on. Let's move on to the second guy, right? So let's move on this one, and now the count, because the count previously we increased by 1, right? So the count is equal to 1, right?
Yeah.
Because you keep track of this guy, and then and then the car right now is the closed bracket. And then and then the count after you would decrease by 1, right? Based on what you wrote here. So
right. Will be 0 again.
That's my point, right? Exactly. So I think it would be helpful to use both this count information to keep track of what had happened previously and the current character. So in this if condition, you also want to consider what's the count before this character.
Yeah, when I reach the count is 0 in the second time, this means I have a whole match.
Exactly.
An opening and closing bracket. So
Yes.
when I get another closing bracket, this means that when the count must be decremented, this means I have a missing opening bracket.
Exactly. Yeah. So when the count is positive, you have an opening that is not closed. Yeah. I mean, you can use those information for your code. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So how would you materialize into code now?
Yeah, I'm thinking. So I should use the count in the condition. If Perfect. I have a positive count, this means I'm missing a closing bracket. If I have negative
Yeah,
count, this mean I am missing opening bracket.
correct. Let's code it up.
Yeah. Should I pair it with in the same condition if character is open in the opening bracket and the count,
Yeah, I
or
think
should
so.
I?
Let's make your thinking more clear. Yeah, I would do so.
If the count is zero, so it's fine to increment the count. But if it is okay, if it's negative, then I am missing brackets. This means I will use along if condition if else.
No, I think it's good. What you're doing is correct. Yeah, because just you have the if the current is open bracket and also if the count is negative, and then else if open bracket count is zero, else if open bracket count is negative, right? So it's all the cases that
Yeah,
you
I
were just talking
mean
about
there's
this.
different cases.
Yes. I think you're
If
doing
it's
doing
if the
right.
count is zero, so it's okay.
Yeah,
Let me add.
we can clean up the code at the end because but now it's
Okay.
just the thinking process.
And count is less than zero. I can use the missing variable now.
It's up to you if that helps you.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm not gonna involve too much about your coding, but
Okay.
I'm thinking about your thought.
Okay. I think when the count is zero or positive, it's okay to increment the count without the missing. I mean like this. What's this? No. If it's positive, it's okay to increment the count, right?
Okay.
But if it's negative, so I'm having a missing bracket.
Okay.
So even if I increment the count, I should also increment the missing variable.
Okay.
Okay. For the closing brackets, if it's smaller than or equal zero, no. I'm kind of confused now.
No, you're not confused. Why?
I don't know.
No, I don't think you're confused. You just keep track of what. Yeah, I think you're on the right track.
Really? I think it's too much if
It's
else
kind of yeah.
conditions.
It is okay because you're very clear on what you're doing. because you don't have a nested if statement, right? You're in the same level of the if statement, which is very clear to me that what you're doing actually.
Okay. So, character one. I'm just thinking if I'm doing it right with the missing variable. I don't feel it's right for the missing. I believe it's the opposite.
Well, if you do it opposite, you can see that it's overlapping with this guy, right?
Yeah. I should change this to.
Okay.
Okay. So if I reach that, for the closing bracket, if I have a closing bracket and I have count that's smaller than 0, maybe this should be as it is. Am I correct?
Well, I think you are. How do I say? You are.
Kind of lost here.
I think you're making it a lot more complicated. It should be than it should be. So I'm gonna help you out a little bit over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So it looks like this smaller than greater than that really trip you up, right? But I'm gonna make it easier, very easy for you. I'm gonna make it very easy for you. So you have three cases, right? You have three cases. So you have the smaller than, and then this is one case, right? This is the first case, smaller than, and then the second case is gonna be equal, right? And this is the second case. And then I'm gonna let you change this one afterward, right? This is your code, right? But I'm gonna make it easy for you though. And then you have the third case, right? You have the third case. It's gonna be like this, right? And then also on the flip side, you also have the count is smaller than something, smaller than 0, right? And that's exactly what you have, which is really great. And then you also don't be afraid about so many if statement. I mean, you are very clear on what you do, so which is fine. I mean, I'm only care about how clean is your code, but not short your code, right? And so it's 0. So what happened? And then else, actually, this is the last statement, right? So I want you to adjust this if else and really think about in this case, right? What's telling you, right? Before this is negative, and now you're looking at this, and what do you do? And now it's exactly 0, and now you have an open bracket, and what do you do, right? So you don't want to chip off like, oh, you don't have to make it shorter, but think about step by step. Go ahead.
Okay. So if I'm having opening bracket and my count is 0, this means I already have a missing open bracket. It's like in the third example. Um, yeah, I should just increment the count.
Okay.
For the second case where the count is equal to 0, um,
Yeah. If you think it's right, just slow
I
down
don't
the
have
threshold.
any missing brackets.
Yeah.
It's the case where I start or I have a matching brackets already.
Exactly.
For the third case where the count is greater than 0, I have opening brackets without closing ones.
Exactly.
So I also increment the count. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. And here I don't think I need this missing.
Perfect. Yeah. This is the count, not count.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for the closing brackets, when the count is smaller than 0, this means
Yeah.
I already have a closing bracket without opening ones.
Exactly.
So I decrement the count, and when the count is 0, I have closing and a matching bracket. So maybe here I should increment the missing. Okay. So when should I increment the missing variable? When I have an opening bracket. When it's smaller than 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what else I'm missing?
Well, do you think this is correct though?
When the count is 0, if I have a closing bracket and the count is 0, this means I have a bracket match, so the upcoming character will be without an opening bracket.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I also need to decrement the count. Okay. So here. And I think when it's positive, I need to increment the missing variable, like in the first case.
Okay, which one?
I mean here, the last else. But this depends on what's coming else. So, any hints or any clues for what should I do?
Mm, I think what you can do is do a dry run. You do a dry run and then you can see where your problem is.
Okay.
So you have two variables to keep track. One is the missing one, also the count one. Also, I would think about like what do you want to return at the end of the day, right? At the end of these loops, what do you want to return, right?
Okay.
And also, it looks like you are running out of time though.
Okay. What on what line? 17. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because you didn't return anything yet.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I think you are running out of time.
Okay, I'm stuck here.
I'm giving you some feedback. Do you want some feedback?
Yeah.
Okay. And one feedback I would give is and try to speak out loud when you think.
Okay.
And yeah, it's gonna help the interviewer to follow your thought process, and then to give you enough guidance. That's how I have been doing. Like speak out loud what you're thinking, and then also work with the interviewer, and also and yeah. So that's one of the suggestion I will provide to you.
Okay.
This question is not easy. I'm telling you. And it's very normal to get stuck for this question, but just need more practice because most people think that like a bracket needs to use a stack, but in this case you don't need a stack. So that's why it may be confusing at the beginning, but just need more practice for this question.
Okay. Okay, so you think I should swap roles now so you can see your
Okay.
question?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. What do we get in here? Okay, smallest non-negative. Okay, that's not in the array. Okay. Okay, there's a okay, some constraint on the maximum integer that we can have is 2 to the power 31 minus 1. Okay. Okay. So okay. Okay. Solve the first case if you're not allowed to modify. Okay. I'm not allowed to modify the input array. If successful, there is still a time you can come up with an algorithm to improve the space complexity when modifying array is allowed. Okay. Okay. So there's a quick potential follow-up question, right? There are two questions. So the first question is I'm not allowed to modify the input array, and the second question
Yeah.
is what would be the case in I'm allowed to do that, and also trade off the time complexity. Okay. 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 Couple of questions I have. Is this array sorted though? You need.
It's not mentioned that the array is sorted.
Okay, so it's not necessarily sorted. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's non-negative. So also, okay, so these are integers. Yeah, I was gonna ask like, is it possible to have the fractions? So it's impossible to have fractions.
No, it's
And
on lectures.
okay, perfect. Let me think about how to do this. Okay, so based on what I'm reading from the question, right? Solve first for the case when you are not allowed. So I have two questions in here basically. So there's the first question is, you know, solve first when I'm not allowed to modify the input, right? That's the question one, I suppose. And then second question is, question two is, if successful for the first question, then still have time to see if come up and improve space complexity when okay. So based on this logic, that means that the first question that I have to use another array
Yeah, exactly.
that takes the space complexity. Take a space of big O n. Not this big O n. So and the second I can modify, so I can do something in place for the second question. Okay, interesting. And so let me come back to the question. Get
Yeah,
via
you can
function.
focus
Get
on the first question.
So the task is to find the smallest non-negative number that is not in the array. So that is the main part of the question. You know, right down over here as well. So that's the main question. Find the smallest non-negative number that is not in the array. And the example that we are given over here, and that's a 0, 1, 2, and 3. And the smallest one that's not in the array, smallest non-negative integer, of course, it's going to be 4, right? So because this is coming right after the 3, so it is 4. Makes sense to me. Let's say if I have another example, let's say 0 and 2, and the answer is going to be 1.
Exactly.
Right? And well, a brute force approach. I mean, what we can do is that to Or, I mean, another example would be, I mean, you said that this is might not be sorted, right? It could be 0 and 2 and 0, and the answer is still 1.
Yep.
And then one thing I would do is to sort this array first,
Yeah.
and then sort it. Let's say I come back to this example over here, and if the given array looks like 0, 3, 1, and 2, so it's going to be the exact same answer, 4. So because I don't know the ordering that in the array, so I will sort it first, and then I will arrive here, and the sorting takes big of an n log n, and then when I sort it, and I know that, and then I will go through each of the elements. For example, if I will go through it like each one by one, and then I know which one is I'm missing immediately.
Yeah, that's a good approach. You will sort first and go one by one.
Yeah, because I know the first one is going to be the smallest one, and then I immediately know that the next one is going to be, yeah. Should I code it up, do you think?
Yeah, yeah. That would be more clear.
Okay. So now I have array, so I'm going to call it sorted array. It's going to be, well, just sorted an array. As simple as that. And then now I know the smallest number, and that is going to be the sorted array at the top.
Okay.
Right? And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the space complexity along the way, because you're going to ask me anyways. So it's going to be n log n.
Yeah.
And that's the space complexity. And then, also this is the time complexity. And then the space is going to be big O n. Because I need an additional array. Yeah, let's go with that first. Or maybe not. So I can do something. Let's leave that for now. So so now I've already take care of the
What you're
smallest
going
number.
to do with the smallest? How would you use it?
Great question. Yeah, looks like I don't need it though. Yeah, okay, probably I don't need it. You're right. So I probably don't need it. So I've looked through the elements in the sorted array, and let me think. Or I think a better one is to compare them in pairs, because I need to know the first element and the next element. Yeah, so if I do that, so yeah, go ahead.
Okay, tell me, you want to compare and so what's the result?
Yeah, yeah. So let me
They,
show
they
you.
are already sorted.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm going to do something like this. So I have a range of the length of the array, because I'm looking at the pairs, -1. So I have the the index. Yeah, I have the index. So I have the the first index. So essentially, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. So I have the also the second index. Second index equals to as simple as the first index plus 1. So essentially, I'm looking at, because after the array is sorted, and I'm looking at pairs. So for example, this pair, and then this pair, and then this pair. So if so I also have some expected value. So if the expected value should be the sorted array. and then the first index.
Then you will compare them.
Exactly. So I expect this will be the immediate next one.
Yeah, say you have 1, so your expected next value will be 2, and you will compare it.
Exactly. Because I'm
Okay.
given these are unique. Those numbers are unique, right? So it must be different from the first. So the two numbers must be different from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So essentially the expected. So if the I have the actual. The actual is the the second index. If the actual is greater than the expected, and then I'm done. Return the expected. Is it possible that this one never get executed, like this example? It keep moving, right? Go ahead.
No. I just want you to give it a try to run the tests.
Yeah, if this one never get executed, what is going to happen? It's going to be return the last element plus 1.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a dry run, like on a piece of paper over here, before I run the test. And let's say, oh, by the way, it is possible. Oh, okay? It is impossible. I was thinking about whether this array can be
Fine.
empty, but looks like it cannot be empty. So I was thinking about edge cases. So let me do a dry run. I'm gonna write here dry run. So let's say the given array is, let's say, 3, 1, and 2, and then immediately after the sorting is gonna be 1, 2, and 3 because sorted. And now I'm not gonna look through the first index. So actually the first index is gonna be 0, and then the second index is gonna be 1 because it's adding 1 to it. And then to the expected value is gonna be, look at the 1 plus 1, this is 2, and then the actual is 2, so I'm good because they're exactly the same. And then I'm gonna move on. So the first index is gonna be 1, and then the second index is gonna be 2, and then
Can I pause you?
Yeah.
Okay. So without the coding, what's the execution of such array? What's the result? The given array 3, 1, 2. What should be
Yeah, the result.
the result?
Oh, the result is going to be 4, but the 4 is not the correct
No.
result.
Yeah, it's not 4. It shouldn't be 4.
You're right. The result should be 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going through a lot of process inside the loop. I think it might be much simpler.
Okay. Thank you for stopping me.
Yeah, how can you check if 0 is not in the array?
So that means I know the smallest element. The smallest element is 1. Let me think. So it could be that. So, and a given array could be 5, 10, and 20. So I need to check whether 0 is in it, 1 is in it, right? So if let's say if 1 is in it, and then I know I have to check whether 0 is in it. And okay, if that's the case, I need to do some pre-processing before here. So I also need the the smallest number, smallest element right here. So it's gonna be 0. So it's gonna be 0, and let me think. So the smallest number can be 1, can be 2. If the 2, yeah. So something like this. So if the smallest number -1, that is bigger than or equal to 0, and then return that. Let's see if that works. So if the smallest number is 0, exactly 0, 0 minus 1 is negative. So we won't do that. And then if the smallest number is 1, 1 minus 1, it is 0. And then we return 0. If the smallest number is like, let's say, oh, no, it doesn't work. Let's say the smallest number is 10. No, it doesn't work this way. No, it won't work this way. No, it won't work this way. Okay. Oh, okay. I think there's a simpler approach.
Which is, maybe you should focus on the for loop.
Yes. Yeah, I'm overcomplicating this.
Yeah, say you have the array you just chose 3, 1, 2, and you sorted the array. It became 1, 2, 3. Okay, then you go through the loop using arrange, right?
Yes. Oh, I think okay. I have a better approach than this. I think what I can do is I don't need to sort it, but I need to have a set. So for a range of 0, 1, 2, 3, and then check it. Keep track it whether it's in the set or not.
Yep.
Okay.
Go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I don't need any of those. So it's a lot simpler approach. So I have a array set, and well, the time is going to be over n this time.
Yeah.
And the space is all of the same. So for candidate, let's say candidate in the range of the length of the array.
Okay.
And yeah, exactly. So if the candidate in the set and continue, else return the candidate.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Let's say if this example like this 1, 10, and 20. So the set is going to be 1, 10, and 20, and then the length of the array is going to be 3, and then the first element is 0, and it's done. It's not in the array because it's done. I think it's gonna work. Yeah.
You can run the tests.
Oh no, it's not working. Oh! I forgot one edge case. I forgot another edge case. So it could be the given array. The given array is exactly the example 0, 1, 2, something like this. So if this one not finished, so it's gonna return return the the length of the array, the last element. Yeah. think should be okay. Yeah, good.
Here we go.
Here we go. And but this is not the best approach, right? So we have also the improved one.
Actually, yeah, I think this is the best approach. Using the sorted array would be much complex, or it will need more time, lower time complexity. The same solution could go with the sorted array. You will sort the array, then you will check if the index is in the sorted array or not. And just the
Okay.
same, just with more time complexity.
Okay. Yeah, you're checking the index.
Yeah,
That's very smart.
yeah, it's just similar to just what you did, but using the set is more smarter. It's the optimal solution.
Oh, okay. So this is the optimal solution.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And one thing that I want to critique of myself will be I coding too like I jump on the solution too fast, which the comparing pairs, right? So that one didn't work really well. I should have communicate with you before coding.
Yeah, you should think about what data structure can you use to simplify the solution. And yeah, it's good that you're talking and you're explaining your thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to like show you what I'm thinking, just so that you know. Because remember, you told me make put a pause, and then I know that I'm not on the right track. So you can do the same thing to me, right? So for the interviewer, right? So you keep thinking, and then they will know that you are on the right track, or not on the right track, and then they will direct you back to the right track. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think this is gonna be helpful for both yourself and the interviewer, and also for me as well.
Yeah,
the
so you
future.
don't waste your time.
Oh no, waste my time. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is it. Can I ask you for something?
Yes.
After ending the session, there is a feedback form. I need you to fill it for me. What you
Yes.
just
Yes.
told me, I need you to write it in the form. That would be great.
Yes. I do that for all the people that I met in Pramp.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. And I hope you good luck with your upcoming interviews. And once again, I hope you don't get discouraged with the problem that you walked through. That one was not easy one, and
No, it's
that's a
okay.
very challenging. Yeah. So hopefully you learn something from that question.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah. Have a nice day. Thank you. I really enjoy working with you.
Thank you. I enjoyed too.
Bye
Okay,
bye.
bye.